All right, welcome to the Steam Room. First Sunday of the NFL season, and we are going live on YouTube. Please remember, this is not a podcast. It is not a show. We are going to be betting and trading live. Information will be coming in throughout as we lead into kickoff. And remember, I'm working right now, so I will be placing bets. Information will be coming in. There'll be some dead time. This is a trading room floor right now. So just know that going in. We got to cover a lot. What we're going to do is go over every single game in the NFL. I'm going to share all the information I have. We're going to decide if we're going to fire. You could decide on your own. If you see anything you want to fire, go ahead and fire. I will confirm any added premiums throughout the show. And as information comes through, I will pass that along. My advice to you, have your screen up. Have your odds screen up. Whether you're using the WagerTalk odds screen or you have another service or you, whatever it is, get your odds screen up, number one. Then get your sports books up. Make sure your sports books are up and you're logged in and ready to go. A lot of the information will be time sensitive. A lot of this stuff I will not be able to share for premium subscribers. It's only for those that are here live. Because again, it's just so time sensitive. And yesterday was a perfect example with college football. I wish we had the room live. Now, before we go forward, I have to go backwards. And even though it's a Sunday NFL, we still have to rewind because that's what is most important. So, as we always do, let me pull up and see where we are at. Hold on. All right. Year to date, we are plus 162.32 units. 162.32 units based on a $10,000 bankroll. If you started with a $10,000 bankroll, I recommend bet spreading between $25 and $125 because we only bet 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1%, and 1.25% of bankroll. We never bet more than 2.5% of bankroll. I'm telling you now, realistically, if you're betting more than 2-3% of your bankroll on any one play, you're gambling. If you're up to that 5%, 6-7% on a play, like if you have $1,000 bankroll and you're betting $50, $60, $70 on a play, that's degen level. Like that's beyond gambling. You are so much better off, honestly, taking that $1,000, coming to Vegas and taking a shot at a big score, not a bullshit double your money score. Like if you're going to gamble and willing to take the worst of it, and when you're betting 5, 6, 7% per play, you are actually taking the worst of it because your edge just is not that great. So even if you had an edge, you're over betting it. So now you just eliminated any advantage you had. So you got to bet size correctly. And here's why. Because I tell it like it is. Over the last now, we've been struggling now over a month. It's been over 30 days. In fact, I want to see that. Let me see what I've done the last 30 days. I know it's going to be ugly, but I like to bring the truth out because that's what matters more than anything. Listen, we could all brag about how great we're doing, but numbers don't lie. Short-term streaks are great, but what matters most is, are you actually up money? So here we are. And over the last 30 days, let's go. Yeah, see, minus 45.4 units. And we bet a quarter of that, so it's only down about 11. That's the difference. Now, sure, that looks ugly. But overall, here's what the bottom line is. If you followed my advice and bet size and manage your risk correctly, even as bad as these last month has been, these last 6 weeks have been, here's the bottom line. And numbers do not lie. As of right now, I am number one at WagerTalk, up 162 units, point whatever. So again, we tip that to the wagers. I know there's guys on hot streaks. There are guys blazing hot. on 3% plays, on 5% plays, on 4% plays. They're blazing hot in a particular sport. They're hot over the last week. They're hot over the last 30 days. They're hot here. But what does it produce? At the end of the day, what does it produce? That's the question we need to answer. And right now, as bad as my last 30 days have been, I'm still up 162 units. And more importantly, number one in profit over all those hot streaks. And 162, the $10,000 bankroll where we're betting 25, 50, 75, 100, and 125 based on 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, 5% rating. So 162 times $25 per unit, you're still up $4,050 on the $10,000 bankroll. Still up around 40% on the initial capital. Again, I get it. We were up 60%, 70%, 80%. That's going to happen. You'll be at a peak for a little bit, but more times than not, you will not be trading at your peak. So you have to forget about where you were and you have to realize where you are. And where we are right now is we're up 162 units, a $10,000 bankroll that has followed my risk management is still up $4,000. That's the bottom line. And there's no one yet in 2023 that has produced more profit. But here's what matters more than anything else. Long term. That's what I'm talking about. And right now, since joining WagerTalk, and please understand, this isn't an infomercial for me. This isn't me promoting myself. This is so you understand that if you manage risk correctly, this is what the product, this is what you produce. This is why I keep pushing that. This is why I spend more time talking about money management and bet sizing correctly than I do on breaking down fucking matchups, because that's irrelevant. If you don't bet size correctly, if you don't manage risk correctly, the other part doesn't matter. And here's what I'm talking about. Since I started at WagerTalk, I'm number one all time in total profit. So since I walked in those doors, there's not a single person you could have followed that would have made you more money. That's fact. Number one in Major League Baseball. Number one in boxing. Number two in WNBA. Number two in college football. Number two in golf. Number two in NFL. Number four in soccer. Number four in tennis. Number five in NASCAR and motorsports. Again, that's what bet sizing correctly, dealing with the ups and downs, treating it like a business produces. I will not win every day. I will not win every week. I will not win every month. What I will do is produce long-term positive results. And if you bet size correctly, I will put you in a position where you beat your bookmaker as well. 99%, 99 out of 100 sports bettors have negative lifetime earnings. 99 out of 100 sports bettors that have been betting in 2023 are down money in 2023. That's a fact. And that's why so few sites are ever going to post long-term results. You'll see the last day, the last week, even see the last month. But very, very few paid cappers are going to show you their long-term results. And unfortunately, that's not me bashing other cappers. That's me explaining how difficult being a winning sports bettor is. That even these guys whose job it is, that's their job description. They're paid pick sellers. They're supposed to be winning pick sellers. That's why they sell their opinion instead of just giving it out for free. That's why they charge you $25 for their opinion. How many are up for the year? How many are up lifetime? What are you doing buying their hot streaks? What are you doing buying their hot streaks? Again, what has that done for you up until today? How much money have you made buying hot streaks? How much money have you made over betting your bankroll? How much money have you made mismanaging your risk and going for big scores? I get it. This guy's telling you with a $10,000 bankroll, you should never bet more than to win $125. You should never bet more than that. It isn't sexy. I get it. You're not going to be driving a Bugatti tomorrow. But you know what? you're not going to be broke either. Those are the choices. You could either have the discipline to think long term, to play the long game and actually follow through and do it, or continue gambling, taking shots, look for that guy that's 5-0, hoping he goes 6-0, even though he may be down lifetime. He's hot right now, baby. That's all that matters. And again, my only goal is for you to win money. And understand our goals are aligned. And right now, I'm not forced to sell packages. I'm not forced to upsell anything or none of that nonsense. Nebraska was a 5% play. That stung yesterday. I would make it again, over and over and over again. If I could get plus 3.5 and the line closes 2.5, it got down to 1.5 at some point during the week. I made a good bet with 3 being such a key number. Again, I can't control what's going to go out there and what's going to happen. We just saw Strickland beat Izzy Adesanya as a 5-1, 6-1 favorite going down. That is the world that we live in called probability. That's the difference between certainty and probabilities. And if you don't bet size correctly, those probabilities will eat you alive. So we know what we are right now. Transparency is first and key most with me. I'm going to have to come in here and be accountable to you every single week. And like I've said, it was great the first 3 months. I came in with a big smile on my face. We were going up, 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 up. And all I can do is prepare you for the fact that this isn't sustainable. That sure, we will turn a profit for the year. We'll be ahead. Not sure how much ahead. We will win. That's what we do. But understand, nothing goes up in a straight line. We saw it with how many people were buying Bitcoin at 60,000, 69,000, wanting it to get to 100, to 200, to 1 million, to the moon. That's gambling. That's buying the top, and nothing goes straight up. Unfortunately, we reached our top at about that 300 unit mark, and now you see we're coming back down, but even that is more or less like over the last month, 6 weeks, has been such negative variance. It's even if you're throwing darts, you almost expect positive. And that's getting back to, again, the industry, which is pushing those hot streaks where even a losing bettor, if you're a losing bettor, you're going to have them. Just like even if you're a winning bettor, you're going to have these cold streaks. You're going to have those losing streaks. So I don't like to hide them. I understand during those times my business will be slow. No one, they buy at the wrong time. People buy hot cappers, and even though that's actually, you're buying the top, but what they should be doing is buying a winning capper who's having that negative variance and you expect will turn positive. But that's just so hard to do. That's almost like buying stock when the whole world's crashing, in 2020 with COVID, when we saw the market in March of 2020. Go look at pull up any stock right now. March 2020, I believe the date was between the 15th and the 20th. You'll see the stock hit rock bottom. And since then, they've gone up 100, 200, 300, 400% in some instances. But few people had the guts to buy in March of 2020 because all the news was negative. All the talk was it's the end of the world. Everything's going to zero. So again, I'm not, no excuses. This is part of the journey. We will win, but there will be some losing along the way. And I need to prepare you for that. I need to know your bet sizing correctly. I apologize to the new viewers who jumped in here that just expected free picks. You will get those. I have nothing but information to share with you. A ton of it. We will begin that within 5 minutes. But unless we get the most important part of sports betting narrowed down to where it becomes automatic like breathing, which is why I say the same reason fighters practice the same combination over and over and over and over again, is so that it becomes automatic. So you don't have to think about it. So it's just a muscle reflex. The same thing with bet sizing correctly. It becomes a muscle reflex. You don't even know how to overbet. You don't even know how to mismanage your risk. you're so accustomed to doing the right thing, regardless of whether you're running hot or cold, doesn't matter to you. You know that's what retail does. That's what squares do. When they get hot, they get all excited, they bet a little more, and they think, oh, here it comes, the big score. Or when they're down, they need to get it back, and they start chasing. You do the opposite. You stay level. Whether you're winning, whether you're losing, you're bet sizing 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1%, 1.25. And while they're bragging about hot streaks, then disappearing during the cold streaks, you're staying level-headed. Because you know, when December 31st comes around, you will be one of the few people on the planet that are going to be able to say, I made money betting sports in 2023. It's right there for you. It's available right there for you. I just gave you the numbers. Number one in profit all time since walking through those doors. Number one here, number one there, number one, blah, 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 blah. That's all blah, blah, blah. But numbers don't lie. So whether you don't like my presentation, my voice, the fact I didn't shave for this, no matter what is rubbing you wrong, see through that and trust in the math. Not in my voice, not in me talking, not in promotion. Trust math. That's all I ask you. Trust in the math. So again, the goal now is to turn it around, start winning, roll into towards the end of the year on a hot streak, and see how much damage we can do. Because the next 4 months, there's nothing but opportunity ahead. So with that said, remember, I will be working, so I'm going to start pulling this stuff up now, and we are going to, again, as you see, line screens are up, computers are everywhere, and we will begin. Hold on. Again, I'm going to be getting texts. I'm going to be getting information. And we are going to have some fun. And then towards that final hour, I will put together the teasers that I will be betting, and you can fire away with me. I haven't figured out, again, usually I'm able to share my screen because we do this on a GoToMeeting with my group that is riding this with me, my partners in my betting operation. I love you guys that show up in that steam room every single fucking week, win or lose. Again, I love celebrating with you guys. I'm there and feel your pain when we're losing. I wish I can show you the 5-dime bet I lost on Nebraska. So you could see, I feel your fucking pain when we lose, but I promise you, I take a step back, and where I find comfort is in knowing we're 162 fucking units up, and it's only September. And I get it. If you just jumped on last week, last month, you're probably not feeling all that good. But when in doubt, zoom out. And remember, we got to 162. We were up to about 300. Now we're back down a little. We're going to build that right back up. You're never going to reach your highest highs. Again, that's just always with gambling, with card counting, with everybody. If you're a long-term sports bettor, advantage player, you understand that that's part of it. But with nothing but opportunities ahead, I'm very, very, very optimistic. And finally, I wanted to bring in, you saw yesterday, I went high volume. That was because of the week it was. When the dust settled, it didn't benefit us greatly, but trust me, it was for a reason. And if you go through seasons back, you'll see that same process was repeated because there's a lot of overreactions to that early week one in college football. Now, as we go forward, volume will be lower. We are zeroing in on strong plays, especially since we've gone through this negative variance. The volume will be lesser. Know that going in. And the last thing, I need to let you guys some actionable information. Here's what I learned. Yesterday, I tweeted out, 2 nights ago, excuse me, I tweeted out my sheet of college football information. These things. If you are, anyone that was a runner back in the day knows, the first job you did when you walked into a casino is because back then, remember, no laptops, none of that shit. So you walk in the casino, the screen's up there, the board, okay? A lot of times, some casinos, they even hand wrote it. So you can know what the latest updated line was. Number one, you're not going to sit there and look up and write them all down. That takes a lot of time. And more importantly, it's some of the boards weren't even big enough to have all the games. So they're running through them. Like they're showing the first 30 and then some NBA, and then you got to wait for the next 30. And it takes forever. So instead, what runners used to do is you go right up to the counter. You say, can I get a rundown? Can I get the latest rundown? Give me the latest rundown. And they print out, they punch in their little number, whatever it is, and they print out a printout of this. This is the matchups with the betting line on it. Right at that minute, what the betting line is. And then as a runner, you'd be able to see, you look at your sheet and you compare, okay, is there anything here that I could bet? Oh, wait, they have 60. I'm looking to go over 60. Bam, you run to the line, you fire before they could change the number. So if you see anybody with these, you may want to be paying attention when they walk to the window, probably someone pretty sharp. With that said, here's what you need to remember. When I put out this information, here's what it means. This is all the stuff that I've moved or the guys that I work with, because again, I do things with the UFC, I do some content. I'm not always at the desk. And when you're trading, you have to be locked in the trade. You don't know when the information is going to come in. It's time sensitive, so you have to be locked in and ready to go. But so there's other guys that work with me that are moving stuff when I'm doing this. Let's say right now, there's actually a room of guys that are moving some shit. Now, with that said, we're getting down on all of this. But what you guys don't see sometimes is what happens after. And a lot of times there's some setups where the limits are lower. And remember, as I taught you guys early on, for my line monitoring, you will get sharper every week you're in here. When you monitor lines, also monitor the limits. What was the betting limit? You'll start to notice some setups. When the betting limits are small, $500, $250, they're starting to bet over. You're seeing limit bets on over. Then all of a sudden, the limit jumps to 3,000 and you see, bam, under. Another limit bet on the under. Rest assured, that was either set up to get even more value on the under, which means you could piggyback and still get plus EV because they jacked it up even higher for you with that dummying up of the line. So I want you guys to remember that going forward. What you want to do with this information is not necessarily piggyback it. You want to analyze it. Again, all information is useful. It becomes valuable when you're able to do something with it that's actionable. And with this, it becomes actionable when you read it correctly, when you deduce which is a legit move, which is a setup. And as I'm trying to share throughout these live chats, some of the indicators and signals that I use that help confirm that type of information for me. So remember, when you're monitoring those line moves, jot down the early week, the opening number. Midweek, check out what the limit is. Right? You're up there. Me, I do it every day. Hopefully you do it as well. Update your lines every day. Jot next to it, what is the betting limit? And then you'll have a great picture of what exactly is happening with this game. And you'll start to understand how this market is moving, how it's working, how these groups that are winning, what they're doing, and how you can get ahead of it and take advantage of that. Because again, the other way is get a good math degree, forget watching sports, get a math degree, try to get a master's, a doctorate, and get really advanced at math, and try to create some advanced metric, algorithm, analytic that aren't factored into the betting line, that haven't been created yet, haven't been invented yet. You'll get an edge that way as well. I'm not smart enough to do that. I realized that early on. So I found a different route. I said, you know what? I'm going to move for the guys that win. I will be an asset to them. They're going to need to get that money down. And people think that's easy to do. It's easy to go in and bet. It's hard to bet without moving the market. It's hard to get down a lot of money without moving the market. That's where the art comes in. That's why I have so many groups that work with me, because they know not only am I going to get their stuff down and they're going to get paid when they win, but I'm not going to rock the market either if they ask me not to. Now, once in a while, they'll say, do it however you want, and I'll blast away on screen. But more times than not, I'll get a text like this, like my boy, one of my MMA guys, and he'll say exact words. You're gonna laugh. Wow, we talk a lot. I love these guys. Oh, this guy sending me even college football and shit. Wow. Oh, yeah. Can you take under 2.5 Miranda off screen? Can you Crosby under 2.5 or at -140 or better off screen? Gotta love off screen. So again, now we're at that 8:30 mark, so it's time to go to work. Are you ready to go? We're gonna get. You're actually gonna work with me through this. So what you're going to have to do is stay a little patient as I go through these accounts, because, again, we're not set up because of this first week on YouTube for me to share my screen. Otherwise, you'd be getting some of this. Okay. Hold on. I'm still writing down some of this stuff, and you will be getting it in a second. One of my Sharp account bot accounts put in a three-team teaser. Cincinnati +8, San Francisco +8, Chicago +9. They laid at -120, so they 6 to win 5. Cincy +8, San Francisco +8, Chicago +9. Just sharing that. I haven't jumped on it. Again, I take a percentage of the account, so obviously I want that stuff to do well and win. But just so you guys know, I personally haven't bet it. Okay, there's a bunch of baseball in here today. Shit. Okay, the one play we are definitely getting down right away immediately. So let's get this out of the way. Hold on. Let's fire a premium play right now. Hold on. Let me just get the latest number. We're going to have to do this together. As we confirm, I will have to bet the play, send out the play as well. So it's going to take some patience, because we're going to go through this whole board over the next 90 minutes. And throughout that, there will be some baseball. I have a lot of baseball, actually, but there's one that just came through now that actually was on my radar, so we have to bet it now. Hold on. Just give me a second. All the screens are coming up. I love this jump. All right, my boy Spanky. His odd service is amazing. Where do you see the new one WagerTalk's going to put out soon? But if you have Spanky odds, can't go wrong. All right. Baseball. Go to your baseball screen. And we're going to go game 953, 954. We're going to go under 10 at -110. You could take it all the way to -1. There's 115s out there. Go to 115. That's fine. I even see 10.5 still at Superbook, but we're going under 10. Atlanta and Pittsburgh under 10. That's a 4% play. 4% play. Give me a second. I have to send that out too. Here's the part that takes up some time. 4%, that means 1% of Bankroll. Braves. Under 10. And what's good is when we get off this call, right when football kicks off, I'll be able to do some more baseball for us. And you may get some more baseball plays as well. But for right now, let's get this one out there. Just give me 1 second. Under Pittsburgh, Atlanta. All right. And remember, we have 3 bets so far in the NFL today. Let me jot those down for us. We have New England +5, 4% play from earlier in the summer. Jot that down. We have game 476, New England +5. That's a 4% play. Game 460, Colts +5, also a 4% play. And finally, game 455, Houston +10, up to -122. So if you got 9.5, buy the half point. They're probably going to charge you up to -120. They should be charging you -122. So you're getting 2 cents better. That's plus EV right there on the buy, because a half point from 9.5 to 10 in the NFL should be charging you more. So I highly recommend in that spot, you go ahead and you buy the 10 to 10 if you don't have it. All right. All done. Ace got to put this bet in too. All right. All right. 1 second. I'm firing away. Three dimes there. I wish I could share my screen. You'd be seeing Ace unloading here. This is a 4-dime play for me. It's not a lot of money. A lot of people bet crazy numbers, but $4,000 is a lot of money for me, man. I came here with $600 fucking dollars. So what's crazy is I used to bet more when I was broke. Ain't that a bitch? I bet that's a lot of bettors will say that. Eventually started winning. Sorry, guys. I'm just looking for the cheapest. Wow. Okay. I'll take his 110 for 1,000. All right. Sorry, man. Under Pittsburgh, Atlanta. Let me just check that one more time. And then it's all NFL. Because, again, we'll have time for the baseball, and I'll call some stuff out. If you guys want, you know what? Since you're here, I'm going to read off all the baseball to you. This is what I'll be breaking through and looking through. To confirm. And again, some of these are going to be 10 a.m., 1 p.m. plays, like the Pittsburgh Atlanta is going to be 1:30, so we had to get out ahead of it. But I don't just piggyback blindly, so we're going to have to let some of them go. And all right, we're good there. Okay, here you go. You ready? Grab your sheets. I'm going to read off some sharp baseball. 967 under 10 -115 Baltimore Boston. 967 under 10 -115 Baltimore Boston. 976 New York Yankees first 5 innings -130. 976 Yankees -130 first 5. 957 over 9.5 St. Louis Cincinnati. 957 over 9.5 even money St. Louis Cincinnati. Game 966 Detroit Tigers -130 for the game. 966 Detroit Tigers -125 first 5 innings. 966 first 5 end game. 979 over 8.5 -105 Mets Minnesota. 979 over 8.5 -105 Mets Minnesota. Let's move down. 957 St. Louis Cincinnati under 9.5 -105. 957. Oh wow, see, I told you I'm going right through the account. They went under 9.5 first, and then they went back and bet the over. So it was a conflict of interest or conflicting, information came through. And I love when I see that stuff in the same accounts. And you see that a lot. even in college football. So, yeah, scratch that. You know right away, there's conflicting two-sided opinions, St. Louis and Cincinnati. We could scratch that right off. Then 979, New York Mets plus 155. 979, New York Mets plus 155. And then first 5 innings, 1961, Colorado Rockies, 1961, Colorado plus 175. First 5, 959, Arizona plus 126, 959, Arizona plus 126. I'm telling you, dude, I don't think a lot of recreational bettors, not calling you guys that, you're sharp enough to be here, understand how much volume these betting syndicates fire. I actually was hoping to share a screen. I wanted to show yesterday's college football, the amount of games that I'm moving for these groups with full game first half, second games, no lie, 30, 40, 50 bets in some accounts. Again, I try to narrow it down to like 10 for you guys in college football. I know that's even a lot for most bettors to handle, but these guys know that the edge is small. So the money's made by volume or big bets. It's hard to get big bets down, especially on baseball. You can't just walk in and bet $100,000 on a baseball total. They're not going to take it. That's the problem. So to compensate, they are willing to take smaller edges and go for more volume and beat them that way, as opposed to bigger positions with less volume. Greater edges means you could bet bigger, but there's less of those. That you can do in football, even in college. In baseball, until the playoffs, you can't really do that. And that's why you see so much volume. So I'm going to keep going. Again, what I would do, here's what I suggest, and here's what I do. I move all this stuff because I know historically it wins. Long term, that's how I make my money, taking a percentage of the accounts. But to add to it, I narrow down the ones that I like. I bet a little more on those, and that's what I release to subscribers. So I take all this information, I dig into it, and I pass it along. Now, and most times, I've already done that the night before for baseball, for day-to-day sports. This weekend's just been so crazy with MMA, college football, NFL. I'm just being real. Baseball took a back seat. Today's baseball. So I will dig into it, but I don't just throw money out there. I wait and make good trades. I'd rather pass and wait to put my money in good than just put it in. So what I'm going to do personally, since I'm doing this chat, if I wasn't doing this chat, I would have time to handicap all this information. Instead, when I'm finished this chat, the baseball that hasn't started, I will dig into that and see if there's any value still there on any that I like, meaning did these lines move too much? Am I too late? And a lot of times that's what happens if I don't get out ahead. So that's why, like in football, I have all my sides already circled. These are the sides I like. These are the totals I like. When information comes in and it matches, I'm able to immediately piggyback it and send it to you guys, so you're getting it as we're all betting it too. So you're not getting a late number. Right now, I'm not even looking at the Major League Baseball screen, but I would bet a lot of these that I'm giving you, the numbers have moved. Like, I don't know if Arizona's still plus 126. I don't know if the Mets are still plus 155. If the Tigers are still minus 130. Those lines probably moved. Now, if they moved in that direction, reflecting the sharp side, that's when I then have to decide, am I too late to this party? Or is there still some in that cigar butt? Can I still pick it up off the ground, take a drag, like Warren Buffett used to do? He used to say. That's what piggybacking steam is. It's the exact same thing. Looking, is there still a little bit left? That's when you get it late. Usually we're getting them early. Like I said, I'm ready for the baseball. Like I'm ready for the football. As it comes in, I'm sharing it. So let me just get this out of the way real fast, because I know a lot of you guys are actually writing this down. So there's a couple more totals. 953, Pittsburgh, Atlanta, under 10.5, minus 105. Pittsburgh, Atlanta, under 10.5, minus 105. 961, over 8, minus 120. 961, over 8, minus 120. Colorado, San Francisco. 959 over 8.5 minus 105. 959 over 8.5 minus 105. Arizona, Chicago. 963 over 7.5 minus 120. 963 over 7.5 minus 120. Seattle, Tampa Bay. And 979 under 8.5. 979 under 8.5. Even money. Mets, Minnesota. That's some of the college baseball so far. Hold on, got to write something down. 453 over 39. Hold on. And we're about to go over to football. And again, this is week 1. Like I said, most of these lines been up for so long. We're very, very patient. We're very patient. We miss a number. We don't take a bad number. We don't rush into anything. Only good bets. Only good bets. Let me keep going. Look in the next one. See what they're working with. Minnesota Twins. Does that, hold on one second. And this is also, what's good is you see some contradictory information. Like, see that the one account, we have the Mets plus 155. In another one, we have the opposite side. We have the Minnesota side. And what you have to remember is these groups aren't working together. They're working against each other. And as numbers move, some value opens up on another side. And sometimes, of course, it's manipulation. So, okay, we're almost done. All right, Dodgers, St. Louis. All right, that's St. Louis, Cincy under 9.5, multiple accounts. Pittsburgh, Atlanta under 10.5, multiple accounts. That's the one we got as our 4% play. Yes, multiple accounts. Arizona Cubs over 8.5, multiple accounts. Mets, Minnesota under 8.5, multiple accounts. And over Oakland, Texas, 9.5, multiple accounts. That's what I like to see. I like to see when different groups agree on the same play. And what would be nice if I already had circled, like Arizona Cubs over, and when I saw over come in at 8.5, boom, I know right away I got a bet to make. And I have a bet to share, even more importantly for you guys. Let me see one more thing. Atlanta Falcons first quarter, just got bet first quarter, minus 150. Again, I don't really fuck with the derivatives. They're really time sensitive. Let me pull up a few more things. And we're good. All right, we're getting some stuff coming in, I believe. No, that's not that. All right. Hold on. I want to bet that baseball a little. Give this guy some action too. Pittsburgh, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, Atlanta, Pittsburgh. And we start football, I promise. Start from the top and work our way down. 5 minutes per game, boom. Easy peasy. Come on. I just got to start wearing glasses, I think. Got to start keeping them on all the time, right? Getting old. What are you charging? Oh, I like that. They're charging even more. I like when a sharp book charges more than the square books. Lets me know I'm on to something, right? All right. Fuck, I wish I could share screen right now. You'd be seeing what I'm looking at. Next week we'll be in the steam room. You'll have my screen up. And you'll be seeing the square right now. I'm seeing bets coming in my back end. on one of the sheets I have access to. Hold on. Just write down this last, if there's anything added to this NFL card before we get to work. Yes, we do. Hold on. Texans, Niners. All right. I think we're up to date. Yes. I think we are up. All right. Let me just check my prop guy, see if my prop guy has anything yet for you guys. My prop guy's got Baltimore Ravens team total under 14 minus 115. First half, Baltimore Ravens team total under 14 minus 114. Raiders Denver under 7.5 first quarter. Raiders Denver under 7.5 first quarter. Atlanta Falcons first quarter minus 145. Atlanta Falcons first quarter minus 145. And 476 New England Patriots first quarter plus a half minus 130. 476 New England Patriots plus a half minus 130. So what you should have done is came in here with your card circled just like mine. So as I'm giving you any plays, you know to, oh, wow, it confirmed. And I don't know about you, but I feel a lot better when I know that the most winning sports bettors happen to be on my side, or the book's forced to show respect. All right. Ace is just going through his final preparations. Yeah, I promise you, next week you'll be looking at this with me. We'll be looking at this. You'll be looking right now when action coming in. I'm just condensing it all so then we could go game by game and I could share exactly the pertinent information. Okay? Hold on. All right, we're good to go. Let's start our football, boys and girls. I'll tell you what, I have some power ratings. I'll let you know what I've got the game power rated at. So let's go and start off with first. Oh, done. Okay. Okay. Oh, no, I'm just getting all this up. Like I told you, there'll be some dead time. It isn't all sexy. But next week, you'll be looking at what I'm doing exactly right here. It all makes sense to you. And why I have to organize this all together. Let's go. All right. Carolina, Atlanta. Latest number, 3.5, 40.5, open 2.5, went through the key number of 3, total open 46.5, went to 43.5, now down to 40.5. So I'll tell you what, there's some over, when it got down to 39.5, you saw some resistance. You saw some sharp money come in on the over. I had this one power rated. One of my power ratings had Carolina as a 1-point favorite. The other one had the Falcons as a 2-point favorite. So it's one of those coin flip type of games, obviously, where it sits right now. Let me see what the public's on, what they like in this game. Yeah, it makes sense that they're on the Atlanta side. I think it's too late to go under. I personally would not go under on this total. This has pass written all over it, this game for me. Unless you like one of those derivatives, I don't even see it as a possible teaser count. So let's move on. And here's what you got to remember. These quarterbacks in this situation, they just did not do well. When you have a rookie quarterback in an opener, just historically, they're just not a good bet. And I think that's most of the reason for the fade on Carolina. Yeah, I mean, Carolina already had the worst quarterback situation, the worst completion rate. And as good as Young is, you got to remember, he's still a rookie. Mariota, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, they didn't. Yeah. Okay. We're going to pass there. I'm passing Falcons and Carolina. I see nothing. Texans and the Ravens. Let's look at the Texans and the Ravens up next. We're on the Texans side. I had the Ravens power rated at about an 8-point favorite in this game, so I already thought there was line value immediately. This is now the 24th straight game that we have the Texans as an underdog, and another week run rookie quarterback situation, which straight up, they're only 6-15-1 over the last 22. Not good. But the points become the great equalizer when betting sports. And for me, that's what sticks out here. New offensive coordinator for Baltimore. Let's see where this line is doing. Wow. He's sitting mostly 9.5 across the screen, seeing a 10 at Pinnacle, but you got to lay 117 on the dog. Like I said, you could take it up to 10 to minus 122. So anyone with a penny account or a penny skin, you're getting 5 cents right there by betting Houston plus 10, if you agree with us on that side. And then on the total, over 43.5 did attract some sharp action. Houston. Yeah, the over did attract some sharp money. I lean that way. I would have liked it a little bit lower. Being these two teams and the rookie quarterbacks, like if they would have had this one at 41, I'd be all over it. But Yeah, I'm in an instant messaging with the group that's firing right now. So I'm sorry, they're asking questions on what to take, what to do. Again, next week you will be seeing all of this, and you will also be seeing something really special, which is the screen where the stuff comes in. Right now, 467 just came in. 467 under 38, Arizona, Washington. 467 under 38, Arizona, Washington. We'll look at that game a little later. I didn't have that on my radar, so there's nothing to piggyback immediately on that. And also for you baseball guys out there, first 5 inning just came through my screen as well, and it's the Dodgers, Washington, under 5.5, first 5 innings. First 5 innings. So Ravens and Texans, we are on the Texans plus the 10. Texans plus the 10. I'll tell you from looking at the back of my screen right now, Ravens getting the public money at a 2-to-1 clip. So I'd say about 67%, close to 70% of the tickets are on the Baltimore side. More importantly, the money is about 1/10, 10x on Baltimore. So the betting public does see a blowout in this game. Personally, I think it's a lot closer than that. So where do they have it at? It's the unabated line. I like what those guys are doing over there. The unabated line, 9.5 even. 9.5 evens, the unabated line. Okay. Now let's move on to Cleveland, Cincinnati. Okay, I think we have some action here. Cleveland, Cincinnati. Let's put some glasses. Hold on. Let's look a little sophisticated here. I had this one right around where the number is, power rated wise. Betting public, the ticket count is on Cleveland. So you have a ticket count, another 2-to-1 ticket count on the Cleveland side, but more money on Cincinnati. That's what those pick sites, the percentage sites don't show you. Like, sure, it could be 5-to-1 tickets on Team A, but if they all bet $10 and I walk in and bet $5,000 on Team B, they may have 5-to-1 tickets on Team A, but they want Team A to win. They rather pay those other 5 people than pay me my $4,000. And that's what we saw here with Cleveland and Cincinnati, where you have more public money on the Cleveland side, but more cash on the Cincinnati side. And let's see how this line moved. And it's moving right now. It's actually lighting up. Open 2.5 Cincinnati, now down to 1 on Cincinnati. So you are seeing some Cleveland money. You also saw the under. The under got bet up 46 all the way up to 48. And that's when you started seeing some under money. Then it got bet back up all the way to as high as 49 before you started seeing it coming back down. Now, here's what I need to see. Hold on. It's at 46.5, 46.5, right? At minus 110. Hold on, boys and girls. 6.5 or 47. All right. Down to a pick. So, yeah, you're seeing the Cleveland steam come in as we speak. That actually took that off of a possible teaser as well. If anything, that's where I would have looked to the Cleveland Browns side as a teaser. But I'm actually glad we stayed off of that. Because power rating wise, I like when everything clicks. The power ratings, the matchup, the situation, and we're just not getting that. We're just not getting that. In fact, Yeah. Sorry, Ace, I'm doing some thinking as so we're going through this. Let me look a little deeper on Cincinnati and Cleveland. Success run passing plays. All right, Cleveland, Cincy. All right, you know what? I'm going to leave that one alone. I was looking to a possible under bet on the Cleveland, Cincinnati side, but 46.5, no. Hold on one sec. How did their series go last season? Low scoring. Yeah, before that, low scoring. Oh, they lit it up. All right, we're going to let that go. There's nothing to move there. See if anything's coming in. No props yet. We keep looking for our prop, guys. I know you guys want some props. We'll see. As they come in, some player props. Those usually come in like the last 45 minutes, last 30 minutes. You see some late player props, usually waiting for recreational bettors to move those lines up. So keep that in mind. And remember, like I said, with the totals, monitor those line moves. But more importantly, you got to pay attention to what the betting limit was and when the bet was placed. All right. Next up, Jaguars, Colts. Jags, Colts. We already know we are on the Colts side. Let's look at that line right now. Wow, down to 3.5. Again, we did our job there. We got +5. Yeah, it's a dead number, 5, but you get past that 4.5, past that 4, and now down to 3.5. That's betting from a position of strength. That's exactly what we want to do. We have a great bet. Now, they're going to go out there and do what they do. We can't control that part. The only part of this that we can control is, are we placing good bets? And when you place good bets, regardless of the outcome short term, here's what happens. Number one in profit since 2015-16. Number one in this. Number one in 2023 in profit. Like, good things happen when you do the right thing. Not always. I can't guarantee you always. And that's the disconnect that most human beings, we just don't have the patience to get even good results. We want instant gratification. Again, why is we the most obese nation at a time when, like, everyone access to good food, access to information about how to eat, what to eat, information about working out, all the access we have to that stuff, and yet we're at our fattest because it's hard to practice what you preach, and it's even harder to have the patience to wait for your reward. But I promise you, that's exactly what happens when you just do the right thing over and over and over again. And that's why we've been rewarded with the Indianapolis Colts. I don't know if they're going to win this game, but I absolutely love that I got a ticket with +5 in my pocket when the number is no better than 3.5 right now. God bless America. Great bet. Do I have anything on the total to add? Not surprised. Seeing some over money, but I can tell you this, it's not sharp. No, actually the opposite. Sorry. I was looking at the game right under it. I like the over. I'll tell you that. Yeah, if I have to bet this Colts Jags, hold on. We may even have, get a little lower. Hold on. And again, I don't want to sit here and talk nonsense and break down data. They haven't played yet. So to sit there and read previews of what this season's going to be like and regurgitate nonsense, I just can't do that. I'm into proprietary shit. Like, is it real stuff? And again, we're just going on strictly power ratings and more importantly, what the market's telling us, and trusting our reads as far as price action goes, and understanding that most of our bets will not be backed up by any type of data because there's not data. Sure, there's some trends and there's some anticipations of data, and we could project outcomes, but we don't have any data to implement. Everything is a projection. There's nothing substantial behind it except last year. So again, I'm not wasting time with that nonsense. I'm telling you exactly what I'm looking at. I'm looking at what the market's doing, what the guys with the sharpest information on the planet are doing, and can I find some good bets to fucking get my money in? And right now, that's what I'm seeing. That we have a good bet on the Indianapolis Colts. And I'll tell you what, we are very close to going over as well. Let's keep that on the agenda to the side. We have time over a possible 40, says 45 and a half, 46. Let's keep that as a possible. Keep that in the chamber. Remember, we trade. We're not here for fandom and blah, 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 and the games and what's going to the players. I'm here to make good trades. Get my money in good. Whatever's going to happen, they're going to go out there, they're going to play their game, and hopefully my trade brings me in some money. If you're there, if you're here to make money, you're in the right place at the right freaking time. I promise you that. Jacksonville. All right. Put that in the chamber. Got to try to get out ahead sometimes, see what other times you're a little behind, and see if the market's going to come to us. Again, we got a little time. Tampa Bay and Minnesota. We may have some action here. We got some good line movement as well. We have flip-flops of yes. Line opened as high as -7 on the Minnesota side. That was early in the summer. Again, yeah, you can't look at that. Limits were $1,000, $1,500, $1,000. What happened when the limits got to 5,000? What happened when they got to 10,000? And what happens when they got to 50,000? And I'll tell you this, it still got hit when it got to 40 and 50,000. And that to me is what sticks out the most. Because I actually have one set of power ratings, which make this one a lot closer than what that point spread shows. Another one with a little bit higher. Let me dig into this game a little bit, get some other data, market data that is. Buccaneers, where are you at, Tampa? Tampa and Minnesota, Tampa and Minnesota. Oh, man, I'm probably going to have to let that one go. Hold on. God damn it. Yeah, I'm going to let that one go. Don't get me wrong. I like the Tampa Bay side. I do. I like the under as well. Let me see that under. That's what the market's telling me. That's what this line's screaming. 64464. Minnesota. Yeah. Yeah, I like the under. I like the under in this game. 46. Now 45s. Yeah, 45. I think that's a decent trade. At 45, you're making a good bet. At 45, it's a good bet. I'm not going to fire. I'm not going to pull the trigger. I'll tell you that. I'm not going to pull it. Again, right now for me, it's about winning. It's about cashing tickets and getting my money in on the greatest edges. Because, like I said, keeping it real, I was up about 100 more units, little more than that. Which again, we bet a quarter of that. So 25, 30, at least, let's say 30 plus positions further ahead 6 weeks ago. So when there's those borderline calls, I got to be very, very selective, very disciplined. Because right now, my only goal, book some wins, get us back to where we're turning in weekly profit, the monthly profit, and starts getting added to that year. Next thing you know, you look down and you're like, wow, we're up 250 units. Let's go for 400 by the end of the year. That's how I'm envisioning this. So, yeah, I like Tampa, Minnesota under. Let me send that to my boy. So, guys, they just, anytime I have trades like that I like, they just have me send them, even if I'm not going to make it. A couple of the guys in the room, I'm sure, are going to make this trade. They're going to take the under. Yeah, I just wrote a post-it so I can remind you guys that there are a lot of setups with these college football totals. Write down there. No, I'm going to repeat it again. Write down the opening line. Write down Pinnacles. Write down Bet Online. You could write down, if you want, either Circa or Westgate. That way you got offshore covered with the sharpest book in Pinnacle, a sharp book that also does retail in Bet Online, and then a Vegas book that has an opinion, Circa or Westgate Superbook. Write down the opening numbers, monitor the lines throughout the week, and jot down what the limits are. Over and over again, you will start to understand how this market works, and more importantly, how the people that beat it work. And you will pick off a lot of winning trades. You don't have to be first. You do not have to be first. Like I always say, I'm not the first to get information. I know that. So what I do is I see how the market reacts. Based on that reaction, it either confirms or denies that the information is legit, and then I can act on it more times than not by contrarian. When I know that the info is legit, I wait for the market to overreact. So again, you don't have to be first. You just have to be able to analyze it correctly. So looking at that Vikings and Minnesota, again, I like the under, obviously, especially last year. Minnesota had more overs than anyone, especially at home. In fact, 8 of 10 games in Minnesota went over last season. That's why you're looking at this inflated fucking total. Getting very close. Let's put that on the agenda too for possible. Again, we got 45 minutes. We are good. There's no rush. There's later games are 4 o'clock games. What are you in a rush? We got to wait till kickoff. That's fine. What we got to do is get through these 1 o'clocks, and about 20 minutes from now, I'm going to put together the teasers because some are going to line up with those later games. We are good. We're doing great with time. Atlanta Falcons -3.5. Atlanta Falcons -3.5 just came in. So they're even laying that 3.5. This is a sharp account that is laying the 3.5. Wow. Little surprised. So if you like Atlanta, that tells me that's a pretty strong play. Wow. On that Atlanta side. That would have just confirmed it for me. That's for damn sure. Okay. Who's next on the agenda? New Orleans and Tennessee. New Orleans and Tennessee. All right. Where are we at here? New Orleans and Tennessee. Power rating wise. Oh, I had that one with Saints -1, 1.5, and 2. Where are we at that here. Tennessee and over, huh? Tennessee got some steam. We know that. Here's what worries me, that it's back to 3. That isn't a great sign. I'll tell you that. Because it was at 2.5. And it's not getting one-sided Saints money. That much I can promise you. Yeah, I know there's supposed to be some sharp play on Tennessee at +3. And 2 of the accounts that I work with actually did bet Tennessee +3. I did not send that to subscribers. It just didn't sit right with me. Again, I've done this very long time. I trust my intuition. And I wouldn't mind Tennessee winning because I know some good people that have that bet. Wouldn't mind seeing my friends win. But I will not be on Tennessee with them. Yeah, that much I can promise you. Again, the market's not doing what I would like it to do. The total's not touchable, obviously. What do we have here? If I had to bet the market tell me over as far as if I'd have to read the line. The lines tell me over, but it's not any bet that I would make just off of that. Again, I tell you guys, I trade the same 5 factors. 5 factors. My network, price action, mean reversion, analytics, and momentum. Real quickly, what's my network? It's the groups, wise guys, sharps that I've worked with throughout the last 20, 30 years. It's very hard to acquire that kind of sources of information. Price action, it's reading the market and understanding why a line's moving, where it's going, and how I could get a good bet in. Mean reversion, I'm going to credit Marco. No team is ever as good or bad as they look in any one game, any one week. Analytics, we all know, a little more advanced stuff. I touched on that last week. And obviously momentum, that's just physics. It's obvious. You ride momentum. You don't get out ahead of it. It's pretty simple. So, yeah, we get nothing there. Tennessee. A lot of love on Tennessee, I'll tell you that. Let me look at what the book back ends are doing. The money split. Ticket counts on Tennessee. Believe it or not, I'm a little bit surprised. I'm telling you legit. Now, I'm sure probably those percentage sites probably have the Saints or they're the public team, but I can tell you, Tennessee. Yeah, Tennessee's the sharp side with a little bit of over, if you like. And we're going to put that in the chamber too. Again, last 15 minutes, you guys know, you may get 3 or 4 plays. That's why I put them here, right there. We put that to the side. What other one? Early ones? All right. Steelers cards. So, I mean, Steelers, Niners. All right. Steelers, Niners. There was some sharp Steeler action at +3. I shared that earlier in the NFL bet on it. Okay? Since that time, we have seen some conflicting bets and information. And I'm going to tell you this. I am starting to like that San Francisco side a lot more and more. Let's look at something. Okay, the under definitely got hit as well. San Francisco. I'm just seeing, wow, yep, going the other way. Perfect. See, good thing not to fire, right? So we take that Colts, Jags over off. We're seeing how the market's moving right now. If you look at your screen, it's telling us all we need to know. Everything we need to know right there. Prop guys, Derek Carr over 241.5 minus 120. Derek Carr passing yards over 241.5 at minus 120. All right, so we could take that Jacksonville Indy out of the chamber for early possible games. That is good to know. And we're back to Pittsburgh, San Francisco. Let me pull that up, the data that I have there. Yeah, see that defense of San Francisco. No one allowed less than them points per drive. That open 3 down to there at 2. Okay. What's the money line? Let's see what this money line is. Money line 123, 125, 125. Okay. Should we go minus 125 or do we take the +2? I mean the -2, sorry. All right. Let me just confirm. Yeah, this is like being when I trade with that group in the morning. You know what? I'm going to leave that one alone. Going to leave it alone too. I'm not listen, this week I told you guys it's going to be the slowest week. It's week 1. These lines have been up since the summer. I know we're excited for NFL. We want action. We want to watch it. It's exciting. We have 20 weeks of this shit. We're going into February till the Super Bowl. Wait to make good trades. Most of the value's been extracted. Look at your screen. It's not lit up right now. There's a reason for that. It's because the winning sports bettors, the guys, the 1%, us, understand that this is for retail right now. Most of these lines have been bet in the shape. You see, I'm struggling to pull the trigger. That's how you should feel with every bet. You should almost force yourself that I'm going to make this trade because you can't forget they're charging admission. You have to lay 11 to win 10. Every single bet you make, you pay admission. And what's crazy is casual bettors think that the losers pay the admission. It's not. The winners pay it because they're the ones. We're putting up 110 to only get back 100. So we're paying the admission to get in. It's not just the guy that loses his 110. The winner does as well because for our 110, we're only getting back 100. So the admission was already paid for. We're just happy we're getting 100 back. We're not getting the 10 back with anything on top of it. We're just happy. We're so happy we won that we forget that point. And we don't. That's why you're in this room right now. That's it. We don't fuck around. We're here to make money. All right, so that's why we're going to pass on this 49ers. If you do like the Niners, if you're going to follow the sharp money, bet them on the money line. Don't take the -2, -110. Minus 125 is better than -2. Because -2, -110 equals pick 'em -126. So if you're laying, you pick -126 equals -2, -110. They mean the exact same thing mathematically. And since you could get it at 125, obviously, you know what to do. You know exactly what to do. Let's hold on. I think next week we have to do Saturdays. There's too much info for us not to do it. I think it would help me, and it would help you guys for sure, because there's a lot of volume, multiple sports, and it'll help organize everything. So I think that's what our goal is going to be. I'm looking now to see if stuff's coming up, if stuff is coming up. Wow, that sharp guy just took Indianapolis F4. Again, monitoring some sharp accounts as we're going through here, and I like to see when they agree with us. And like I said, I just saw one of my sharpest guys taking the 4, which is a very, very good sign. Because this guy usually, when you bet those kind of figures, if he's not unhappy he missed the 5, then there's, I don't know if I gave you that Saints first quarter. I just checked my prop guy, minus 125. Okay, what's next? The last early game, perfect. Then we'll put some teasers together, then work the later games. Sorry, we haven't fired anything new on the early stuff. Guys, like I said, my only goal, make sure our goals are aligned. If your goal is to be in the 1% of sports bettors that when December 31st comes around, made money on their capital, and then on January 1st, have capital and say, I'm going to do it again the same way, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1%, 1.25, do it for another 365 days, and then rinse, repeat, seeing how much I'm adding to my bankroll from that profit. If you're doing that with me, we're good to go. Our goals are aligned, because that's the only reason I'm doing this. The only reason I'm betting is so I could make money on my capital. Otherwise, it would be at Masterworks, invested in paintings, it would be in real estate, or it would be in equities and crypto, where most of my capital is in other stuff. I'm just being honest with you. The reason I work with sports betting is because it is such a beatable market. It's just most people just don't have the patience to beat it. They gamble. Nobody wins gambling, dude. Nobody does. Okay, Arizona and Washington. Arizona and Washington. Let's see where this line was. Was it now? All right. Opened around that 5 range. Now up to that key 7. Total moved significantly as high as 44 down to 38. And what's crazy is I can tell you a sharp account that actually have even gone under at that 38. I won't do it personally. Just moved way too much for my liking. But again, I'm here to share information. As far as the side, I have nothing on the Commanders, but they're at that -7. We're going to put them at possible teasation. Now, before we go into the later game, let me look at some of these lines and run them through and see if we have any teasers that are still live. As I explained, what are the best times to bet teaser? Closest towards the game times when the line's most efficient. You want the lines to be sharp. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but the reason you want the lines to be sharp is because with teasers, you want the game to land close. When our straight bets, we want the lines to be off. We don't want them to land close. We want to take +3 and have the team win outright. With a teaser, that's no good. With a teaser, you're hoping it lands so both sides cover. So whether you went over, under, well, we don't tease totals. Whether you went team A, team B, you cover. All right, let me look at those numbers that are possible teaser ready, and I'll check out the combinations. That's a 9, that's a 9, that's a 3, that's a 3, that's a 2. Okay, so we have Pittsburgh as a possibility. Washington as a possibility. Bang. Possibilities. And the Jets, okay. All right, let's see. All right. Oh, sorry, guys. All right. Teaser number one. Teaser number one. At minus 110, I'm even sending this out. Pittsburgh Steelers up to +8. Steelers to +8. This will be a 3% teaser. As the season goes on, probably all of these will be 4% plays. I will grade them at 120, but as you will see, I put most of mine in at 110. I have a penny skin at 110. I have another 110. At 110, this bet gives you a 6.4% edge. A 6.4% edge over the house, even laying minus 110. At minus 120, this teaser still gives you over about 2.5% edge. So we are making this teaser as a premium play. Pittsburgh +8 with the Jets on Monday night, 482. New York Jets at +8.5. They're at 2.5 right now, right? Let me just confirm. Oh, they're at 2 right now, so I'll make it +8. I'll be fair. Ace is fair. Let's go +8. That's okay. +8 is just fine, so we'll go +8. Six-point teaser. Boom. Let me send it out, and more importantly, let me bet it. Boom. Got ourselves a nice plus EV bet today right away before kickoff. Hold on, I'm going to use my penny skin. Sorry, guys. What happened was I had to use my VPN to go to Pinnacles because you have to be from Canada. And when it did, it knocked me off. So now we know not to do that again. So there will be no VPN moves during this. All right. Wow, looks like everyone's putting in that Pittsburgh and what's it called teaser, because the Steelers are dropping. Steelers are going down to 1-1 in some places. Wow, good. We got that one in. Let's look at one else. Let me see anything else we could get in here. Again, throughout the season, that's all we're going to do is look to place plus EV teasers. But we're going to miss some. We're going to miss some because we're not looking to get it early in the week. Let those go. Wait for the good ones when the line's most efficient. I've got no problem at all waiting. So let me try something else real fast. No. Green Bay, hold on. All right, I think we got another one. No, that line's going to move. I'm trying to tie Green Bay. They fucking moved a lot of these for us, and that's okay. See, that's the week one, and I'm glad this isn't, meaning we want to place the teasers that actually are Wong teasers. And if the line moves so significantly, sure, when you placed it, it was, let's say you placed it Wednesday, but if the line moves 2-3 points and it's no longer a Wong teaser, you did it early on, but based on where the line is, many times, like you could have got a better number. So that's where I'm always cautious with those early ones. Now, real fast, because I'm seeing some move, we took that off. Let me just check these last. And then we're going to get into the late games real fast. Don't worry about that. Then we're getting into the late games where I have some bets for sure. Okay. $69. Hold on. Hold on. These guys are sending this shit right now. You're going to love this. Hold on. Come on, organize it quickly for me, guys. Well, you missed this, so you got to pass. That's it. We don't take half points worse. We don't do that here. We just let it go. All right. Let's see if we're going to hit any of these totals. Bucks, Vikes. Bucks, Vikes. Are we going under? Are we going on the Bucks, Vikes? Ah. Come on. All done. Come on. No. Fuck. Gonna have to let it go. God damn it. Titans, Saints. You see these lighting up, these late numbers? That's legit shit coming in right now. It's happening especially in MMA. If you guys been paying attention, you're seeing such late action. Some of the biggest bets are coming in minutes before fights are taking place. Pay very much attention to those late line moves in MMA. Probably shouldn't be saying that. I'm just looking right now for any late props for you guys. Again, like I said, this is week one. This is week one. And lines have been up forever. A lot of value has been extracted. That's for damn sure. Let's see what's lighting up. The Colts, do you see the Colts and Indianapolis total getting lit up? Oh, the New Orleans total at penny. Okay, I'm so glad we passed. Good. Staying disciplined matters. We're doing the right thing. I promise you, we're doing the right thing. I know we want action, all excited week one, especially doing the YouTube chat. But like I said, it's week one. We don't have data on any of these teams to talk about. All it would be is projections and predictions, which are worthless. What matters is, do we have any good bets to play? So looks like we're going to have to move it on to, hold on, what is going on here with that? Can someone tell me why Washington's a 7-point favorite? God damn, I want to pull the trigger so bad. It's week one. Again, I gotta stay disciplined. There's so many shots you want to just pull the trigger, but gotta stay disciplined. There's no way Washington should be a 7-point favorite. See something. Wow, I'm so surprised. There's like nothing's going through. I can't wait till you guys see the future weeks. This is so nuts. Usually there's like props coming in, late shit coming in. Even my screen's not even lit up. Oh, I like it. Right now to get 9.5 even at Pinnacle, you got to lay 114. We got it up to plus 10. Listen, I like our bets right now. We're sitting on the Texans. We're sitting on the Colts early. Both are 4% plays. And we got a 4% teaser with one of the legs in early. I'm comfortable with that. I don't love that it's the Steelers because, again, I like the sharp money that's come in on the 49ers. But when it comes to teaser bets, my opinion becomes irrelevant. Doesn't even matter. We're teasing numbers, not teasing anything else. All right, let's move on to the next games. I know people are getting all excited about these early games. I ain't got more bets. I ain't got more bets. So let's get to work. On to the next one. Who's next? Green Bay and Chicago. All right. This one we should have some action on. Yeah, because it never really was above that key number of 3. That's what I like. Let's see what that total did. Again, I gave you all my opinions, all that info early. I can tell you the square signs going into this afternoon. They're all on Baltimore. The public's on Baltimore. They're on the Browns. Surprised they're on the Tennessee side. Like I said, let me look at where the money. Here's the biggest money. The biggest one the biggest mismatches in money right now for the book of what they need. They need the Steelers for sure. They need the Texans. They need Cleveland. Wow, and Minnesota. Those are the biggest one-sided, the opposites, one-sided for the books. So take that information, see how the lines moved. What can you draw from that? Packers, let's go Packers and Bears real quickly. We got some bets to place. I'm just seeing if we're fucking with the total here too. Under. Like the under. Yeah, it's all. Sharps got out ahead on the under. That's not surprising with these two. No. Here's what we're doing. You ready? You ready to fire? Just see what we... All right. We're going to take... I like the overreaction here. I'm going to tell you this. Green Bay and Chicago. I've got Green Bay as the favorite in this one. Power rating wise. We already know they own the series. They've won 9 of the last 10 games against them. And I get it. That was a different Green Bay team. That was a Green Bay team that was favored more times than not. I understand that. But let's still not forget, down the stretch, how Chicago did. And even though they lost Rodgers, he's only worth so much to the point spread. And you have to also compare when you adjust for it, not just his great career, but way the later part. Last year, the season before that, how much is he worth? Compared to earlier in his career, where he was definitely worth a little bit more. Yeah, they were terrible in the goal in the red zone last year. And let's not forget that the Bears defense allowed the highest yards per pass play. So if you're ever gonna lose Rodgers, first game against this defense, probably not the worst thing. Again, we'll find out what happens as the game goes through. But wow, Browns. People just keep betting the Browns. They just keep betting Cleveland, man. Like it's free money. I wouldn't be too sure about that, I'll tell you that. Would not be too sure. All right, so what we're going to do is we're not going to take the +1. Obviously, we're going to take the even money on the money line because +1 is equal to a money line of -105. So +1, getting even money on a money line would be like getting +1 at 105. Why lay to 105 when we could get it at even money? So let's go. Packers. Money line. Even money. We're going to go 3% play there, so that's 0.75. If you got 10 dime bankroll, you're betting $75 flat bet. That's it. You're not going to lose sleep over it. You're not going to sweat it. Your heartbeat isn't going to start racing regardless how the game turns out. Because if you got 10 dimes and you're only betting like you're supposed to, you should never sweat any result, any day, any week, any month. Because, again, you're betting $75. You got 10 dimes in your bankroll. What's there to sweat? You sweat when you got a 10-dime bankroll and 1,000 of that's on a game. Then your heartbeat's racing a little bit. Then it matters. And you know you're doing the wrong thing. We don't do the wrong thing. Green Bay, 3% play, not a 4. All right, I'm going to have to bet it too, so give me a second. Love you guys. Love your patience. If a lot of you have signed off, it's okay. I don't blame you. I'm sure you're expecting just nonstop picks. And it's week 1, and they're just not firing. I'm not going to make shit up. And we knew this coming into week 1. This is going to be the slow week. We're going to pick some spots and play some good bets. And I think we just did that with the Packers. All right, let me put my bet in. $3% play on the Green Bay Packers. Money line, even money. Where you at, Green Bay? All right. Put that last nickel in. All right, another bet in the chamber. Another one we fired. There we go. Green Bay, money line, 3%. So right now we're on 4% play. Texans, 4% Colts, 4% Patriots, 3% on the Packers, and 3% on Pittsburgh, plus 8, and the Jets, plus 8 for a 3% teaser bet. Real quickly, you know our futures. I didn't go with, let's go real fast. You know our win totals was Dallas over 9.5, Giants under 8, Bengals under 11.5, just 4% plays. But more importantly, our futures, the long shots, these are 0.5% play each, was Tampa and the Rams at 10,000 to 1. Again, that's 100 to 1. I mean, plus 10,000, it's 100 to 1. Do I expect either of these teams to make the Super Bowl? Absolutely not. But they should not be 100 to 1. And in that spot, I think I'm getting the best of it. Who knows, with injuries, how things transpire, you sneak into the playoffs with a wild card, you have a ton of equity. Next thing you know, you could profit off a bet like that. And a small 1% play, which is 0.25, is on the Saints at 40 to 1. And the one that I expect to cash, the big one, is the Buffalo Bills at 8 to 1. I got 9 to 1. There were even 7 to 1s. So we averaged it out with 8 to 1 as a 3% play. I actually added another percent, but with the season starting, I couldn't add that. But just letting you know, if it pops up and you want a little bit more, if you could get that, or Buffalo loses their first game tomorrow, we'll probably get an even better number than 9 to 1. I'll probably bet a little more because I don't think they excuse me, they should be any higher than a 6 to 1 to win this Super Bowl. There's not three teams that are better than them, let alone 5 teams better than them. But you factor in some randomness, some injuries. So if I could get double of what they should be, which is what, 2 or 3 teams are better than them at most, power rating wise. I mean, who's better? KC by 0.5 point, maybe. Like, again, who's better than Buffalo? Not too many teams. And I was going to do the between the Eagles and San Francisco, but like I told you, I think the Eagles aren't giving us a nice enough return, even though they're a top 5 team. And with San Francisco, the quarterback situation I like. that they're around that 10-1 range. I see some value there, but I also think during the season, you probably find some spots where you could get even better. So I'm kind of waiting, sitting back, seeing how they look a little bit early on and see if there's any overreaction that I could get a little down on San Francisco. Okay, nothing else coming in on baseball or anything like that. So let's move on. Next, Denver. Oh yeah, Denver and the Raiders. Let's go, Denver Raiders. Here we got we're going to find some action. And keep in mind, like I said, this week's a little different than anything else. These have been handicapped months ago, have been projections months ago. Now we're looking for some lines that got knocked out of whack, some sharp stuff that's still sitting there available. And next week is clean slate, and it turns a little bit different. So let's go Raiders and Denver. Sitting on that key number. It opened 3 minus 25. Got the 4.5 at one point where Denver was a 4.5 point favorite. That's when you did see Raiders action come in. There was sharp money on the Raiders at that price. More importantly, there was a lot of sharp money on the under. But what they did was they extracted too much of the value on the game total. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go first half under. I was waiting to bet this one. First half under in the Raiders. Let me see something real quick. And Denver, we're going to go under 21.5 at minus 120. Under 21.5 at minus 120. I see it pretty much available everywhere. I see some 21s as well. Try to get even money at 21. I'm just throwing it out there. Because there's 21.5s out there. This is where it matters. You need outs. You need to be able to shop. It's football season. Okay, so we're going to go under 21.5. LV. No surprise. I mean, we've seen scoring come down last year. We've seen offenses ahead of defense. I mean, defenses ahead of offenses way since that collective bargaining agreement. And I don't think it's changed since. So finding some first week one unders, it's not as easy as it used to be. But if you're selective, you'll still find those spots. This is one of them where they beat up the game line, but they forgot to beat up the first half line. And that's where we come in. Shit, why is that coming out as Green Bay? See, this is the part that slows me down. It's because it's cut and paste. Raiders, Denver, under first half. Raiders, Denver, under first half. Hold on. See, this is the shit. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. It's later game, so don't sweat it. All right. Let me get my bets in. Hold on, boys and girls. Sorry. See, this is the kind of shit that the workload is. Don't worry. As the season goes on, it'll be a lot easier and smoother, but more importantly, we'll have a lot more information, which is what I like. Next thing you know, we're at 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 6 plays plus a 4% in baseball. Wow, more action than I expected for this week 1, right? We'll be out of here. Don't worry. By 10:30, we'll have this all done. 1:30 your time. You guys be able to go out there and enjoy the freaking games and do your things. Come on. I'm going to have to do it from here. Give me 1 sec. I got to go on to my Pinnacle account, and I don't want to risk getting cut off over here. So just give me 1 second. I'm going to bet it through here. All right. Toronto. Got to look like we're in Toronto for this bet. Only because they got the under 21.5 minus 120 just sitting there right now, Pinnacle. If you watch your account, they usually they got this one covered, my account, like they have it labeled as sharp. So it may move if you look. All right, thank you. Nope, not 2,500. I don't need that much on this. Sorry, guys. Are you fucking kidding me? Go. Yes, I'm sure I want to submit this. All right, my bet's complete. Okay, now we can move on to the next one. No, I don't want to reuse the selection. I want to... All right. So we're in there. Perfect. We got the under in for the Raiders, under 21.5 first half. We're good. What I could tell you for the side was that the Raiders did get sharp money earlier in the week at a much better number. All right, 3 games left. Dolphins, Chargers. I don't think I have anything. Yeah, that's the one game I had nothing on the Dolphin Chargers. Sitting on that key number of 3. It opened at 3, went down to 2.5, back to 3. The total's what really moved from 40.5 all the way to 50.5. At that point, here's what you should be doing. When you see a move like that, your first instinct needs to be, am I shorting this? You never want to look at that number and say, am I going long? Am I betting the over? Am I following that? It's already moved 5 points, excuse me. Talking like it's stock. It moved 5 points on a total from 40 to 45. What do you have? I mean, sorry, from 45 to 50. So not a lot of points were expected to be scored, and it moved 5 full points. Every half point matters. Every point matters a lot. This has gone through some totals that matter. 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and at 50, 50 and a half now. So the only thing as a sports bettor, as a winning sports bettor, I would be thinking, do I have an under bet? That's the only bet I could possibly look to make. You cannot make money betting sports if you're constantly betting the top. I'll keep repeating that. The value isn't always gone. It's not a never or always type of thing. There are those spots where, sure, there's still some value. But more times than not, when a line moves that significantly, it's too late. You're not getting any value. You're now hoping to be the product of good luck. You're hoping to get lucky. You laid 11 to 10, and that's what you should have laid. You didn't get the best of it. So when you see big moves like that, always think contrarian. Your mind needs to immediately go to, do I have anything to go opposite? Do I have enough reasons? Do I have support to fade that big of a move? And sometimes it's scary because you're going against a lot of sharp opinions. But don't forget, those sharp opinions got in at 45, got in at 46, maybe 47. They did not, I promise you, get in at 50. Not even at 49 and a half. So that's all square money betting it from then on. Probably from 47 up, it's been square money betting it up. It's not legit, and that's where we need to look. So that's what I'm doing right now. As we speak, I'm looking at Miami and the Chargers game and trying to find, do I have a spot where I can go under? So far, doesn't appear. Yeah, we need 51. At 51, I'd go under. At 51, I'm going under. I'll tell you that right now. That Dolphin Chargers get to 51, I'm probably pretty close to pulling that trigger. Was it 51 and a half? As I'm looking now, it got to 51 and a half. See, someone else pulled that trigger. I swear to God, I didn't even see that till now. Yeah, there's a mover like me. It looked and saw that and saw exactly. They're gonna do it automatically. You don't even have to handicap it. If you just know how to read a market, there are a handful of guys that make their living betting sports that know nothing about sports, that don't watch the games, don't know the players, don't care about the teams. They understand how to place good bets. They understand how to read markets. And that's a perfect example, win or lose, that sharp bettor looked at the market, saw it went from 45 all the way to 50, 51, 51 and a half, and said, hold on, there's got to be some resistance, just like a stock. Nothing's going to go straight up, and when it does, it's overvalued. And that's exactly what happened here. It got to a number that matters, like 51. And it got past that, boom, slammed under. Now, they could score 60 points. It doesn't matter. The gentlemen or group or ladies that hit that under, they're winning bettors. They cleared that screen from 51 and a half down to 50 and a half. They saw that inefficient number and they took advantage. Because from 45, maybe this is where it should be, 50. Maybe 49. Maybe that's where the true number should be, where 50% of the time it goes over, 50% of the time it goes under. That's where the sports books know they did their job. They get 11 to 10. So as long as they could split the result, they're good. If you can't balance the money, balance the result. When you're getting 11 to 10, do one of the two. And in this case, you saw the result is not balanced at 51 and a half. It's balanced around that 49-50 range. Beautiful stuff. I love seeing that. We don't even have to break that game down. It's sitting right there for us. Gets to 51, you go under. It doesn't do anything else, you just let it go. There's no trade to make. There's no trade to make. The only trade to make is if it hits 51, 51 and a half. Otherwise, we let it go. Move on to the next game. Move on to tomorrow. Move on to next week. we got the capital. We're holding it. Now, if you have to get even because you're down this week and you don't want to pay your book, again, step back, re-examine your thesis. Somewhere you're doing something wrong. Because you should always be relaxed. Always from a position of strength. Never from a position of weakness. And right now going over 50, 50 and a half, 51, you're such betting from a position of weakness, win or lose. Next up, Eagles, Patriots. We don't have to go long here because we already know we're on the Pats. The Pats +5. Love that side. Win or lose, we made a great bet. Why? Because it's now 3.5. And to get 3.5 at Pinnacle, you have to lay -114. Now that they're taking 75,000 aside over the internet, you got to lay 115 to get 3.5 for that privilege. At 3,000, it was a little bit different. At 75,000, it's juiced. It's jacked up. That's a great bet. That right now at Pinnacle, you have to lay juice to get 3.5. We got 5 at 110. That's a trade. That's a good trade. That's where, if it's stock, you did the right thing. You're going to make some ROI on to the next one. With sports, because it's a zero-sum game, that's where the disconnect is, where you could place a great bet and still lose. See, in stock, you make a good trade as long as you cash it out and you don't just sit there and think of it as, house money, and you actually cash out. It's yours. With sports, it's all or nothing. You're either going to double your money or it's going to turn to zero. And that's where the disconnect is, because most people, it's just human, and I don't blame them. They connect good bet with winning bet. They think they're both the same, and it's just not the case. There are bad bets that win every minute of the day, and there are good bets that lose every minute of the day. That's why we manage our risk correctly, because even our best bets, our greatest trades in sports will produce negative ROI in the short term. But you keep doing that, and in the long term, you're up 162 units in 9 months, 40% return on your capital in 9 months. That's what happens when you do the right thing. Next up, Pats Eagles. Again, we don't have anything on the total to share. What I can tell you is there's some sharp money definitely on the under, and the number reflects that. Now, what we do is we sit back and see, do the squares push it back up? Late games, not a lot to choose from. Sit back, start thinking like that. There's late games. There's teasers tied in. There's parlays tied in. There's going to be some line movement because the books are going to see they have some risk. And to minimize some of that risk from earlier results, they're going to be forced to make some adjustments. That's where we're there to pounce. We're there to pounce. And to do that, we already have to be prepared for what we're looking at, what we're looking for, excuse me. Seahawks, Rams. Seahawks, Rams. I believe I had a position I was looking at in this one. Wow, we're just about done. My power rating shows the Rams as being the right side. The market reflects the Rams attracted some sharp money. I like that. Let me see something. I think we have our last bet. Were they doing the head last year? Yeah, Seahawks covered both. So I thought so. They won both. The Seahawks won both. The Rams covered both. They covered the last 5 in a row. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to pull the trigger. We're going to take the 4.5. Rams plus 4.5. Game 477. Rams, like I said, I have it power rated to where this line should be 3. And one of my ratings even has it lesser. They're a little undervalued coming into the season. Looking at their season win totals of both teams and how the season win totals have moved. That's what I'm looking at my screen right now. Let's go. And I'm seeing no resistance from any of the sharp accounts that we have access to, which puts it into the basket of a 3% play. Not bad. I'll take it. At 4.5, we go 3%. Put the kids to bed. Rams plus 4.5. Send that out. And just like that, you see how crazy how volume just piles up before you even know it, without even trying. We're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 7 bets in the NFL already. And it's week 1. Wow, let's make some good ones. Plus 4.5, 3%. All right. The only thing I don't like about today is the groups aren't firing. It's so crazy. You're going to see next week. I don't even have to say in a few weeks. I know next week you're going to see a lot of action. Damn it. See? Yeah, next week I got to be on call because 13 minutes before is when the prop. Remember that for next week. 10 minutes before kickoff. 10 minutes before kickoff. Someone needs to chime in our chat and say props. Give us the props, Ace. Give us the props. So I remember to go comb through all the accounts. Because remember, I got guys right now that are working with me. They're doing this. They're getting us down. I want to help you to get you guys down. And just with so much going on the first week and still going through the games, we're a little behind. I'm just keeping it real. I'm a little behind today. A little bit slow. That's why I'm not risking a lot of my money, and I'm not going to have you risk a lot of yours. Because I'm seeing just a little bit behind. I'm a little step behind because of the week. It's just a busy week, a lot going on, college football, and knowing these lines were up already for 1 week. See anything else? Yeah, they was all early. Yeah, we got to do that because there's some props. I don't even want to. Did the Tampa game go? Yeah. Fuck. Carolina, Atlanta. Yeah, they're all props. Next week, we're jumping on all these props. These do good, man. These do really well. I can't use them for premium plays because they're time sensitive. And as you see, by the time we type it out, send it out, and bet it, you're going to miss it. Like an over 37.5 yards at minus 120 is going to be 39 yards minus 140. And it doesn't get added to my yearly results, unfortunately, because I promise you, these win long term. Like, if I just tweet them out over and over again, people would just blindly follow them. If they're getting the number, you're going to make money off these. So remember, 10 minutes before, have the screens up. We have 19 weeks ahead. Screens up for props. 10 minutes before, we put everything to the side. Again, we're planning the rest of our year. Here's how it's going to go. We line it. We get in at 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock Eastern. By 11:30, we have to be done with the transparency and the rewind. We have to be done. We spend the next hour going over all the games quickly, that hour, and during it, things will be coming in. You'll be seeing it, and I'll be sharing it. And then at 12:30, we put our teasers together. at 10 of, we check our props, and then we go up to kickoff. That's going to be the move. That's going to be the move going forward. That's how we're going to do it. Because I'm seeing this and it's pissing me off. And I'm keeping it real. Again, no one even knows. I didn't even have to show this. No one would even know that we missed props. I just say there aren't any. But it's just not the case. There are fucking props. And we need to get to them. Because again, even though they're not premiums that go with my record, I don't give a shit. I want you guys to profit from it. That matters to me more than anything. All right. Got that Rams in. Yeah, just a 3% play. Because again, I did see some resistance on the Seattle side. So that's why it's a 3% play here. And finally, I'm going to get to Sunday night. We're looking at the Dallas Cowboys. That's the side I'm looking to bet. The only thing is, where am I going to get in and how I'm going to bet it? That's the only question that I need to answer between now and then. Because like I'm fine laying 165, 170 on the money line if that's where the value is. Like that should be minus 220. Then I'm going money line, like we did with the Packers. If I see that laying the 3, even at minus 110 or 120 is the right side, better EV, that's what we're going to do. But I can tell you right now, I'm looking to bet the Dallas Cowboys. And the only question is how we're going to bet them. It's a series that they've owned, but where you got to be cautious is the spread becomes the great equalizer. They're on the road. Power rating wise and all. Yeah, reason I'm not releasing a bet yet is because I'm determining, number one, the bet size and how I'm going to bet it. A minimum, it's going to be at least I'm thinking a 4% play. This may even be a 5% play, to be honest with you. I'm starting to see the way it's shaping up, the way this line's moving, and how the market's shaping up. Yeah, I'm starting to like Dallas more and more. Like Dallas is starting to become one of the stronger plays today. The Niners out to a 10-0 lead over the Steelers. Yeah, we saw that Niner steam come in. Hopefully the Steelers could at least cover a teaser for us, right? They get Nate. All right. Let me see if I got anything else we could get to real quickly, and then we're going to wrap it up. Again, it was the slowest week of the year, week 1 and Monday. Wanted to bring everyone in, wish everyone the best this upcoming NFL season. Prepare you for our goals. Make sure they're aligned. And understand, just bet size correctly, manage your risk correctly. I'll control the volume. Some days will be low, like today, where I guess for most people, 7 games is a lot of volume. But for us, who do it for profit, not to go 3-0 and brag to sell a pick, we're looking to make bets. So if we could make 20 of them, we want to make 20 of them because we're not over betting. But if there's only 5 to make, we're only going to make 5. So that's pretty much where it stands. Doing that last round, I'm seeing absolutely nothing that I need to add. Someone asked, is there any possibility that... Oh, no. That already went up. Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up. I'm not seeing anything we got to get to. So we are good to go. Again, let me go over the plays we are on today. Texans +10, Colts +5, Packers on the money line, Patriots +5, Rams +4.5. We have a teaser, Steelers +8, Jets +8, and under 21.5 Raiders Broncos first half. And we will be betting the Dallas Cowboys tonight. It's just a matter of how we're going to bet them and how big our bet's going to be. We have a baseball 4% play as well. I'm not going to go watch football. I'm going to work on the rest of the baseball real quickly, see if we have any games over the next hour or two. We could find some decent trades. Thank you for all your support. I promise you, as the season goes on and we get used to doing the work together, it'll run more smoothly. We'll be able to get out ahead more, and it'll all start to move a lot better, more efficiently. Again, it's a busy day, a lot going on. I love you guys. Thank you for all your continued support. Let's do this again next week, and best of luck. Let's make sure we add some profit over these next 7 days and get that back up. Let's get back up. Let's get to that plus 175, plus 200 unit range. By the end of September, we'll be in good shape. Thanks again, guys. Best of luck ahead. God bless you and your families. Enjoy it.